everyone, welcome back to Wondering Wild. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Wild Wednesdays. Today we're going to be learning about hedgehogs. Okay, so a hedgehog is a spiny mammal from the subfamily Erinaceae, and there are 17 species. They're found in Europe, Asia, and Africa. However, there are no native species to Australia or the Americas. Now, there used to be hedgehogs in the Americas, but that genus has gone extinct recently. Hedgehogs have also been introduced to New Zealand, so you'll find them just as you would in the wild, however they aren't native there. Hedgehogs are nocturnal, and they resemble their unrelated friends, the porcupine and the echidna. Now, hedgehogs got their name around 1450 from the Middle English. Now, obviously, hedge is because they tend to like to live in hedgerows, and hog is because of their pig-like snout. Now, this isn't the only name that they've had over the years. They've been called urchins, hedge pigs, and a few other things. And actually, a fun fact is that the sea urchins, the little spiny creatures at the bottom of the ocean, were named after hedgehogs, which sometimes are called urchins. A group of hedgehogs is called an array. Also, hedgehogs are easily recognized by their quills. Now, these quills are hollow and made stiff through keratin. Now, unlike porcupines, they're not barbed or poisonous, and they don't detach from the body readily. For defense, a hedgehog will roll into a tight ball, exposing all their quills to the predator. Now, obviously, the amount of quills you have will determine how protected you are. So, in colder climates, hedgehogs are very protected. However, some hedgehogs in warmer climates, like in African deserts, have over the years developed less quills, so it's less heavy and it is not as hot. Now, they're not going to be as protected as a hedgehog in cooler weather would. So instead, they may not roll into a ball to protect themselves and may actually attack the predator and ram their quills into them. Hedgehogs can hibernate, however not all do, and this just depends on the temperatures that year, the species of hedgehog, and the abundance of food around them. So obviously if there's less food and it's colder, they're more likely to hibernate. But if it's a warm, mild year and there's lots of food, they really don't have a reason to hibernate. The average hedgehog has 5,000 to 6,500 quills. Hedgehogs are also very vocal and communicate through a series of squeals and squeaks and even little grunt noises. Hedgehogs feed on a variety of things, from frogs to snails to insects to snakes. And actually, hedgehogs have a natural immunity to snake venom. Now, this doesn't mean if they were to be bit by a viper that the amount of venom injected into them wouldn't actually kill them, but a protein found in their system will combat small amounts of snake venom. The average litter for a hedgehog is about 3 to 4, and a hedgehog can live to be up to 7 years old in the wild. However, some hedgehogs have been known to live up to 16 years. Hedgehogs are also a very common pet. Usually a mix between an African hedgehog and maybe a long-eared hedgehog. Now, in some places in the United States and Canada, it's actually illegal to own hedgehogs as pets. Now, this is because the Americas don't have any native hedgehog species, like I said earlier. So if pets were to escape and cause a native population to form, they would be known as what's called an invasive species, and they can do a lot of damage. So some states and municipalities in Canada have chosen to make it illegal to own hedgehogs as pets. However, you can get a breeder's license if you would like to. The hedgehog is present in hundreds of books and poems and legends and myths. It's even in one Grimm's fairy tale that's not very popular, but it's about a boy who is half hedgehog. And then, of course, it's even found in video games, such as the famous Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, you may think that Groundhog Day has always been that. You go on February 2nd and you find out whether or not spring's coming fast or if it's going to be a little bit slow. However, first, the hedgehog was used to predict this weather. Hedgehogs were used over in Europe for a very long amount of time to determine whether or not spring was coming. However, when German immigrants came to the United States and they couldn't find any hedgehogs, they instead started to use groundhogs, a similar alternative here in the States. So that's how you got Groundhog's Day and not Hedgehog's Day. Another fun fact is that once in New Zealand, a political party tried to elect a hedgehog to Parliament. Now, I'm not one to say anything, but he could have done a very good job. A second fun fact is there actually used to be an International Hedgehog Olympic Games where they did events such as sprinting, hurdles, and even floor exercises. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Wild Wednesday. I hope you enjoyed learning all about the cute, lovable hedgehog. I think they're adorable and they're one of my favorite animals ever. So please give it a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe if you want to see more videos. As always, our sources are found down in the description box below, and if you want to talk about it, just comment. And as always, stay wild and never stop wondering.